Hello Marvel Heroes fans, my name is Wilfred Wong and welcome to my channel where you see videos and guides on this free-to-play game called Marvel Heroes. If you like this of guides, good news, at the description of this video there's a link back to my website, a whole list of guides for you to watch. Now, I hope by now you have watched the ranged Deadpool video or guide, and as promised that the other two builds are melee and area, and today let's talk about the melee build. I'm not going to repeat everything I've said in the range build kind of guide, but I will sort of mention stuff that is relevant to melee build. Although out of all the three builds of Deadpool, range build has the highest potential, but for me the melee build is actually the most fun build I'd like to share with you. I'm going to go into Danger Room and showcase you some of the ability, and then after that I'll share with you his build, his gear and so on, and yeah, just stay tuned. Alright. So I'm going into a cosmic danger room. The challenge rating is alright, 45 only, but I only allowed like one defeat counter. So yeah, let's see how it looks like. So for the melee Deadpool, very much like the range Deadpool, there are 4 cooldowns to play with. So instead of 2 4-second cooldown and 2 8-second cooldown like the range, Deadpool has like 2 4-second cooldown, 1 8-second cooldown, and 1 5 each second cooldown. It's a little bit messy. So something called the foot gauges, and then this one is 5 point something second cooldown. So I just lump it to a 4-second. And you have something called a stabby flip as well. I choose this one because it just the animation is a little bit shorter and the distance doesn't really go too far. It applies the vulnerability as well. So this is weakened. This is vulnerability. And this is a 4-second. After that, you have the 10-ton hammer, which is something like that, and also it's a cooldown, 4 seconds. And of course, the cutting room floor, which is something like that, 8-second cooldown. So that's it. Deadpool is just like that. And I've also hotkeyed the little Deadpool to taunt if I need to. So that is a taunt. And yeah, and that's about it. So okay, let's see what the objective is. I have to collect 5 data cores. Alright, data core, here we come. Right. So do I get any data core? Probably not. Okay. Alright. So it's very decent. The cutting floor thing is very nice, and the ooh, that's also alright. So this thing called the cutting room floor is actually pretty decent as well. And the alright, just get away. Done. So I got a couple of them, and let's go. Yeah, no spirit requirement. That's very nice. Wow, let me just do. Alright, so this is the cutting room floor. That is decent. Well, I got no data core here. Okay, fine. That's fine. No data core. Right, just like it's very agile. I like this build a lot. It just goes so fast, and go to the different places, and the can do all these thing that cuts, and very nice. And I mean, he hardly have any problem whatsoever. Huh. Yeah, there's another cutting room floor, and the apply the reason I reckon why it is like why the range build is more better, I think in a sense it's just the animation, because cutting room floor takes quite a fair bit of animation. But I mean, for the fact that it makes Deadpool a lot easier to play as a melee build, and I mean, I think it's just worth it. Doesn't really matter to me too much about DPS sometimes. I mean, he's pretty awesome anyway. Alright, so I need to, what do I need to do? I need to collect alright. So all these things are very nice and decent. Alright, so no problem, man. Just getting my way through this whole thing. Then he has a pretty nice heal as well. So, and the alright, cutting room floor. Alright, so just like the range build, it's very strong. Alright. Good. Servalag, that is the signature. Very nice. And I have like I have my team up to do the the server lag as well. So I've double server lag, and people always ask, like, you know, what kind of team up the best for what hero. I mean, to be honest, these are all like, you know, either do it for the lore or just do it for effectiveness. I mean, you know, I always play Deadpool. I always use Deadpool, be careful, the team up, but oh, server lag, and okay, server lag. Oh, done, completed. All right, it's try not to. All right, what do I need to do? Eliminate the prototype somewhere there. So I just like go. Nice, man. No problem at all. But I have to be careful though where I go. So. All right. Yeah, this thing is very, very hard actually. This whole drilling. This whole drilling is very, very hard. Yeah, have to be very careful. So I'm just like, yeah, I think range build is a lot easier for all these things. And the because it stay out from the problem area. All right. Alright, just a bit patient, and there's no point in server lag. Alright, there's no point in getting defeated on just one guy here, just because of... Okay, let's see what else is... why is there something hurting me, huh? There's a lot of like small guys here. Alright, I've got another shoe, which is like useless. So now I need to collect enough orbs, and should not be an issue. I hope the boss is not too hard though. We'll see what kind of boss is it. Some of the boss are so hard to F-Zero defeat. I think you guys would sort of like agree that you know, some of them are just, wow, these fire patches are no joke, man. Right? Well, I think I better stay out from these fire patches, huh? Kill something that's easier to kill. Like the turret, but it doesn't really reward a lot of stuff, huh? Come on, man. Yep. Alright, the cutting room floor. Cutting room floor. I thought I used it. Interesting. 10 tons hammer. Yeah, it's nice. Whoa, I have to be a little bit careful, huh? I think because of the environment as well. The yeah, this room has some affixes. For these danger rooms, it's not at all a trivial one, and I think just a bit more. I hope. It's fire patches, man. This is like Alright. Yeah, so I think yeah, I mean by now you probably would agree with me that kind of like very agile when it comes to play melee. There are many like different tricks on the back that you could use, and all of them are very nice. There's a 10-ton hammer, or just a cutting room floor. Alright. Yep, very nice. But don't stay still with all this environment going on. So I'm still like, wow, this like, how much like fire patches are there everywhere, man? This is insane. Wow, turret. All right, done. Simulation completed. So now I am heading to the next stage, which is towards the boss. So I'll use the ultimate here. It's a Moldog, and the have to be careful, huh? Let me see. Let me pray. Yeah, I haven't really used any of those like hey, server lag. Wow. Ultimate. Yeah, this is ultimate. Alright, man, come on, melt him. Yeah, so Moldog is done. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, there's nothing really a lot to really go on. Yep, that's it. So I've done it, and I've got a double chest, I think. Yeah, so it's a decent one. I mean, by all means, these are not easy for melee. I mean, because of the affixes, enemy boost, as well as fire patches and thunderstorm. Those sort of things are not really easy for melee. But I mean, Deadpool, as you have seen, is handling it pretty well. So yeah, and I've got 3 boxes, and I can't wait for the Omega system to get raised, and I got experience point means something. All right, anyway, let's head to the training room and talk a little bit more about the build and so on. All right, let's start with the build, and you know the drill. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the fighty tree, because this is a melee Deadpool. Like any new hero these days, if you are new and you're unsure which one to pick and so on, all you need to do is just follow what the specialization say. So for example, the specialization says that Foot Gauger will gain a bleed effect. So what do? You max it, and then you have Slam Jam, become 10-ton hammer, cutting room floor, become gain damage. So all these have become guideline for you to pick just to max it. And as for the choices between whether you should do Flash Wound or Side Assault, whether you should do Awesome Launch of Death versus Steppy Flip, those are something that you could sort of experience and what is your play style. So for me though, let's talk about the Awesome Launch of Death versus the Steppy Flip. In the old days, if you prefer your Deadpool to be shuttering around using the launch, you could maintain this sort of rhythm, so you don't really do a lot of teleport. Instead, you do a lot of lounging. It's a game style that probably would work. Or for me, nowadays I prefer Steppy Flip, because it's a lot shorter animation, and I got to stay at where the target is without going too far away from it, because targeting is already pretty difficult in this game. So between the Launch of Death and the Steppy Flip, I choose the Flip. Now, how about the Flash Wound versus Side Assault? That is quite interesting. The two of them, it is not like the Hurty with the range build, awesome or not awesome. It's not really along that way. To pick between these two, I think it's going to be something of a matter of whether or not you believe in the attack speed, because attack speed works really in a different way in this game compared to other games like Warcraft. You have haste, Diablo 3, you have this IAS and stuff like that. So in this game though, I mean, I don't think that attack speed is that significant, because there's not many power that has the attack speed tag to it. And usually use it for Spender. Now granted, Spender's output to your overall DPS is about 40%, so whatever buff that 40% is good news, but it doesn't really buff a lot of other things as well, and it's not entirely clear how the whole animation is being speeded up by the attack speed, and also attack speed is suffering a very heavy diminishing return as well. So even though it is 40%, what is it going to be? Even though it's going to be 20% attack speed increase, it's not going to be the net is not going to be 20%. So again, all these things are quite fuzzy in a sense. So and also from the number perspective, just because it's 20% versus this one is 40%, from the number perspective, Flash Wound actually win. And but in a sense, I also like to have the just a little bit of total deflect rating. I know I talk about total rating is kind of rubbish, and it is still rubbish. But it's a matter between the two. I would say this one probably go along with something that like Ray, you have very stationary target. You got to use your main Spender a lot. But if you see my video on Danger Room just now, Cosmic Danger Room, or if you go to other places like Cosmic the Petrol and so on, you seldom do a Spender. You do a lot of time, you just do a cooldown, run around, dash around, and just kite around and stuff like that. So if you don't do a lot of Spender, the attack speed doesn't really matter too much. I mean, yeah. So it's a matter of play style. If you end up having to just stand there and tank and spam, probably this one will be better. But I would just stay with the flash room, just a little bit more defense, and also base is a little bit higher as well because it's about 40% versus the 20%. All right. So, but this one as a homework to you, you could take home and sort of like try out which one you feel better. All right. And the so back to the whole fighty kind of like tree. Follow what the specialization say. Foot Gauger, max it. Either side. Assault or the flash room, max it. Then after that, the either the flip or the lounge, max it. But I would probably recommend a flip if you would like to, if you because I run out of hotbar anyway. Even if I do a launch, I mean, where I'm going to put it on my hotbar, I got no place to put. Teleport is way more better than the lounge in terms of running around and avoiding damage and really teleport to really fast, like what you've seen in the danger room. And then you have 10-ton hammer as well. It just to do a sort of knockdown. If you recall, I've got the medallion on the shotgun medallion that also buffed the knockdown, so that's pretty decent as well. And this is one of my favorite cutting room floor. Is like, my god, this is wonderful. But then, you think about it, right? Nowadays, all heroes tend to have that kind of power, like, Iron Fist, like Black Cat, like, like Deadpool. So, and the quite a number of, like Magic as well. So it started off with Magic, Iron Fist, Deadpool, and the Black Cat all have it. So, originality, anyhow. So that is a fighty one. On the tricky part, whether you want to take a ride or not is up to you. I don't really find it that useful when I can sort of like body slide, teleport around. Max Disguise, superior healing factor, especially for melee. It's good to max out for the defense and dodge. All right, so dodge and defense is good. And this one, of course, no brainer. You have all the damage rating, crit hit rating, brutal strike rating. Although it's not really a lot, but then you have the team buff and just max it up there. Pick this one as specialization. And as for the signature, max it as well. It has a damage over time component to it, and also out of these three, if you found your Deadpool sort of like, he get defeated so often, like every 4 minutes defeated once, then feel free to use God mode. Even if I were to pick this one, I don't think I'll even go into God mode most of the time. I'm, you've seen how I usually play a little bit careful, so I don't really take a lot of risk in terms of the just like, for the maximum DPS or downtime. So, I don't really need God mode to save me. And but between a teddy bear or the power up or the multiplayer doesn't really have a high damage. And power up require you to sort of like walk around to sort of, always get the wrong one. Require you to walk around a bit. So somehow these are all landed onto him, but usually it doesn't. Where are the other field buff? This is one of them, is it? Yeah, so basically you see 3 teddy bear coming around, and you're supposed to pick it up, but somehow it doesn't, I don't know, bug or whatnot. So, but this one requires you to walk a bit, and as you walk, you don't really do DPS, so it's alright. Either one of them is fine, just for fun. And on to the Hurty. So you've got extra 9 points because of the thanks to ever-growing number of story objectives. So, every time you have a story, you have 3 more points. So can you imagine 10 years from now, how many points do you have in terms of power? I have no idea. But for the last 9 points, there's really nothing you can put to layer anything that without interrupting the whole entire rotation, because it's already quite heavy on animation. Like cutting room floor is a lot. It's pretty heavy on animation. This one, is a little bit animation, and everything seems to be a little bit animation. So would you like to add another one as a layer? Probably not. But I mean, the little Deadpool is nice to taunt if you like to sort of like play a little bit safe. But you saw me in Cosmic Danger Room. I seldom even throw a teddy bear out. I don't know. I mean, if you because there's an animation lag to it, and it's not a good layer anyway. The damage is not really that good, so it's just for the taunt if you feel need to. All right, and you could, however, do a little bit of range as well, because instead of 9 point here, you can put 9 point here, become 10 points. You shoot all the bullets. If you like to play melee range kind of thing, you do a little bit melee, come back out and do range. You could. But then my proposition is that why even bother to come back out and do range? Why when you can go back in and do a cutting room floor in a sense? But cutting room floor is like, maybe 1 or 2 seconds anyway. So if you want to go away, take some heat off, and then go back in and do damage, you may as well just time yourself and use cutting room floor. That is my recommendation. I don't really find that I need to run away too often. And yeah, so it is a matter of style, what you like to play. If you like to sort of like, a little bit of range or a little bit of melee, yes, you can max this one. Put remaining 9 points this one. Otherwise, just the little Deadpool is fine. Alright, so now that is all really. And the Omega system as well as the hero synergy is not going to, I'm not going to go through it again because I talked about it in the range build. So you just go back to the range build video, click on the time code, and you can jump over there if so you wish to. But it's Samo or the crit or the flat damage that is relevant to other physical melee. And if you want to take bleed from X23, feel free to do so because this build is also a bleed build. And yeah, that's all. Okay, let's head to the next bit, which is the gear. Onto the gear for Deadpool, it really depends on whether you want to gear him to be pure melee, if you say that melee is your kind of main build, or you want to sort of like be generic, being able to switch between melee, range, or the area build. So that would affect, of course, your gearing decision. But however, if you have decided that you want to be pure melee, just in case you want to say that is my build, then you would probably use something like a Nano Poison for the instead of Metal Sensory, because Nano Poison is it has a melee version of it, which is really good. And then in any case, you could also use the Gorilla Necklace, Germ the Curse. Those are pretty generic as well. And the Hand of Doom, and there's quite a lot of like a very decent artifacts out there, but pick those that are more on melee. As far as medallion is concerned, if you want to stay generic, of course, pick something like like all the generic items there, like Bullseye, Grim Reaper, Doctor Doom, those sort of things are very generic for all build. However, if you are so decided to say that I really want to use my Deadpool as melee, then pick the Curse Medallion. The Curse Medallion is one of the best for the for melee build. And it's relatively easy to farm as well. If your health is a little bit low and think that I probably need a little bit of health, then Kingpin is nice as well. Kingpin has the health plus the melee buff as well. All right, and Relix wise, since you have so many Gimborium lying around, so use it for him. 252 awesome equip is equals to 252 damage rating, 252 crit and brutal damage rating. So that's pretty decent. And Runeworks is concerned, you could use this one, Lady of the Sword. This is fairly easy to get. Probably not for a new player, but as and when you start playing the game, you will collect all these runes, and then you can do this one. I mean, plus 400 to melee plus the physical is pretty awesome. Then you have plus 20 awesome as well. Health regen, defense rating, so that's decent. Legendary wise, grade 70 is always a Gungnir for Deadpool. Grade 80 depending if you like to gear for awesome, really hard, no half-hearted, really go for it, like every single slot you go for awesome. Then you may go for Crystal because it has 100, you have 1005 health as well. Grade 80X is also an option. It's very easy to sort of like transfer to another heroes. If one day you say, well, I'm done with Deadpool, I want to play something else, then then you can transfer the X quite easily because there's tons of physical heroes out there in this game. So the choice is yours. If you would like to sort of like go for awesome, something different, or the X, my take is that it's not going to make too much of a difference. If you're just purely looking on the legendary wise, the X is actually slightly better, but of course without the 1005 health. But if you're looking at the holistic kind of like if everything becomes awesome, then I don't know. But for melee build though, I mean for range build, yes, I agree. Because range has some power that's buffed by awesome. But for melee build, I don't know. I'm not buying it. So yeah, I mean. It's really up to you, but I wouldn't really gamble too much on the awesome for the melee build. All right, so ring wise, pick something ICP on physical or melee if you are so decided on melee. All right, unique wise though, I mean that there are only that many, and use this one instead of the other one is for range. So this one, okay, so this one is for range. All right, so that one is for melee. So so slot 1, I have no complaint. It buffed all my power to 50 rank, so all my rank is 50. So that's very nice on everything here. That's very important. But even with that, it can't beat the range build, huh? Anyhow, and the then this one's slot 2, no complaint as well. Then slot 3, it is what it is. All right, slot 4 and 5. I use this one instead of the baby Deadpool, Daddy Deadpool, because in the melee build you always use the foot gouter as the Gauger as the weaken. So you have another plus 559. So that's decent. Baby, Daddy Deadpool doesn't really have that sort of like thing to it. So I would say go for this one instead. But I really need to farm a better one. Just doesn't job for me. What can I do? Really, what can I do? So yeah, I mean I have no complaint over his unit. I think he's fine. The costume wise, crit damage rating. Awesome. If you have all those awesome kind of like core lying around, use it. And the I mean like I said, I mean this is probably one of those not so great. I got it even before the whole insignia kind of like thing revamp or whatnot. So and the yeah, I mean if you really want to play your melee, do something like plus 100 awesome will be good. Plus the plus the 1000 odd crit damage rating will be good as well for that pool. All right. So and the pet wise is this one. So that is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. And the I think in closing, Deadpool has multiple builds, and I still think that melee build is probably the most fun one because I can react to the situation on the not just mashing cooldown like the range build. I get to sort of like observe what's out there and do what I can decide to do what at what instance. So I think in a way that is kind of cool because it's not just like like the range build and the and yeah, I mean I appreciate that kind of fun factor, although it may not be the most effective. And yeah, I mean that is the second part of the series. Thank you for joining me. And the last part of the series, of course, is on the area build, which is even more fun. Maybe just yeah, I mean Deadpool is all about fun, right? Y2 series. Anyhow, see you later. Goodbye.